Hey guys, what's up? This is the second time I've tried to do this video because my camera died on me the first time. So, this will be the June 27th review of Raw. I'm sorry once again it is a day late. Before I get started, up there about where my zombie calendar is, I guess. I'm going to be posting the link to the Christian R-Truth Miz promo from 2 weeks ago just because it makes me laugh my ass off and because if you need a pick-me-up anytime during the week, pop it in. It's less than a minute long. It's funny as fuck. Definitely puts over, R-Truth being a nut job. And, yeah. So that'll be up there if you guys want to relive that from 2 weeks ago. Now, before I get started on this week's Raw, I want to ask you guys a question. Are you not tired of the themed Raws? 2 weeks ago, it was Austin hosting, which, as far as I'm concerned, can happen anytime. Last week was the fans' choice, which is always a debacle, but I mean, seriously, Mason Ryan versus Evan Bourne. That's all I'm going to say. We have Kelly Kelly as the Divas Champion. Anyways, this week we have Raw Roulette, which is always kind of lame, but individually, there are things that we can look forward to, and whatever. You put them in a row, and none of them are special on their own anymore, are they? That's just my thought. If you agree, if you disagree, the box is down there for a reason. You guys know the drill. Now, we start off. The big thing of this Raw was supposed to be HBK being there in Las Vegas. We find out throughout the night he's only there to promote his new wilderness hunting show, Shawn Michaels and the something, I don't even know. But he comes out, he plugs his show, CM Punk interrupts him, makes a big deal of the fact that he's leaving. He's like, you left because you lost. I'm going to leave winning. I'm going to leave with the championship, etc., etc., etc. Shawn Michaels, I'm better than you, blah, 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 blah. HBK responds with a sweet chin music to Otunga, and the general manager dings in and says, we're going to make a match for CM Punk right now, and goes to Booker T in the back, who spins the wheel. And Booker T, throughout the night, it has to be said, thought he was a really bad game show host, didn't he? If you thought Booker T was bad on commentary, you have to see him as a game show host for sure, right? We spin the wheel for Punk, and it lands on the question mark, which apparently means it's a mystery opponent. And the mystery opponent is Kane, who's conveniently already sitting right next to the wheel. WWE fail. So we have Kane versus Punk set up. HBK tells Punk, basically good luck with that. Sweet chin music's McGillicuddy. So that CM Punk is on his own, because we're told Mason Ryan hurt himself over the weekend and would not be at Raw, which is fine. Punk and Kane was very, very average, even for a Kane match. Kane squashed Punk through most of the match, but Punk had a lot of loud support in this match. He eventually walked out because he's pulling off this attitude now of, hey, I'm going to be gone in 3 weeks, what the hell do I need to do this for? I've got my title match and whatever. And that made sense, didn't it? Because, honestly, you have your title match already, why do you need to face anybody else? He walked away, he didn't give a shit. Normally when there's a walkout and it's a heel, and it's just they're being chicken shits, but in this vein it actually made sense. Cara versus Evan Bourne, which we were supposed to see last week, but WWE messed up the votes, and that's why we got Mason Ryan. Amazing match. If anybody out there disagrees with me that WWE could have a cruiserweight division back, which I've been saying for a while now, go back to this week's Raw, watch this match. Was it... I really don't want to compare, but is it as good as an X Division match? No, obviously not. Did Evan Bourne get to shine? No, obviously not, because they're pushing Sin Cara. But, it was a decent match, and for those of us that yearn for the days of the Cruiserweight division, the Light Heavyweight division, or those of us that watch TNA for the X Division, and, Destination X is coming up soon, which is awesome. It was good for that. Sin Cara wins, obviously. We go to the back, and Kofi Kingston gets to spin for his match stipulation with Dolph Ziggler. And the spin lands on Competitor's Choice, and Competitor's Choice obviously was banning Vicky from ringside. Before this match actually started, we got the Raw Money in the Bank ladder match participants, which are Miz, Alex Riley, Kofi Kingston, Alberto Del Rio, R-Truth, Evan Bourne, Jack Swagger, and Rey Mysterio. I don't know why they keep putting Jack Swagger in this match. I don't for the life of me know why he ever won it. We could do without Rey Mysterio. Bourne, absolutely. Alberto Del Rio, I'm not a fan of, but I can see why they put him in. Kofi Kingston, same thing. You know he's not going to win, though. I gotta say that this is either going to Miz, Alex Riley, or R-Truth. Preliminary, I know my preview video is a long way away, but that's my preliminary on that. Kofi and Dolph have another match in their series of matches. Ziggler dominates the match, but in order to prove that Vicky Guerrero is a bad, influence or effect on the matches, we had Kofi Kingston pull a victory out of his ass to say, just so that the commentators could say, hey, Vicky Guerrero wasn't there, that's why Dolph Ziggler didn't win, and bury Dolph Ziggler, and yeah, let's bury one of the awesome guys that could be a world champion. Anyway, Alberto spins a steel cage match for him and the Big Show. Alberto Del Rio show dominates, obviously, at the beginning of the match because he's huge and he's in a cage, and Alberto Del Rio has no help. But Mark Henry comes around the outside of the cage, prolonging their feud, which is boring and dragging on and whatever and whatever. Alberto Del Rio does get the upper hand by attacking the Big Show's knee. Obviously, it's been run over by a car. It might be a little sensitive. Whatever. Mark Henry finally busts the door off the cage, a la Kane, years and years and years ago. Attacks the Big Show. Alberto Del Rio is able to slither out and run away like the little bitch that he is. Mark Henry brings the door of the cage into the ring, rams the door into Big Show, who falls through the door of the cage, like he did the day he debuted, if anybody remembers that, way back at the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. If you remember, shoot it down there. Have a laugh with me. Yeah, the Big Show Kane thing. Kelly faces Nikki Bella in a submission match. Before the match starts, it's announced that Brie Bella will be facing Kelly at Money in the Bank for the Divas Championship. Yay. It's a 1-minute match. Nikki taps out to a Boston crowd really quickly with Kelly. If anybody wants to take a pee during that match, you didn't miss much. Next is a tornado, a tornado tag team match. Rey Mysterio and Alex Riley versus Swagger and The Miz. After that spin is done, Booker T and Diamond Dallas Page sit there and converse a little while about the Best of Monday Nitro DVD that's coming out, that's hosted by DDP, and obviously they were both there in WCW, so they had a little bit of a moment. Shawn Michaels comes in, says hi to Booker T, says, hey, I should get that DVD because I never watched Nitro. I was always working that night. Wasn't the knee slapper of the night, but it was a pretty good spot, and I think everybody can take it in good humor. R-Truth and Cena have a tables match, which is very... If you saw their match at the pay-per-view where R-Truth got to actually show what he can do, we didn't have any of that here. CM Punk quickly ran in. R-Truth speared him through a table. R-Truth speared Cena through a table. R-Truth gets the win, makes me a happy kid. He leaves. Cena sits there in the ring. And CM Punk leaves the ring, goes up to the rampway, goes up to the staging, has himself a sit on the stage, and proceeds to deliver the promo of my wrestling watching life. People are saying this is the best promo they've seen in 10 years. This is the best promo, bar none. This is the best shoot, bar none, that I have seen since I have been a wrestling fan, and I am not a young guy, guys. Rips everybody. Avoids ripping on Cena. Actually says, I have no problem with Cena. What I have a problem with is the company making Cena out to be the best, which is true. And then he goes on to, say Cena must be kissing Vince McMahon's ass. He must be kissing Vince McMahon's ass as much as Hogan. Point 1. Doesn't quite kiss his ass as well as Dwayne. Point 2. Goes on to say he himself is the best wrestler in the company. He keeps pushing the word wrestler, which they're not supposed to use anymore. Point 3. Says he hasn't gotten a fair push because he's one of the Paul Heyman guys. Point 4. Makes reference to Brock Lesnar being another Heyman guy, and that's why he had to leave. Point 5. Takes shots at Vince, Stephanie, and Triple H. Says that the company should be better once Vince dies. Point 6. But it won't be, because the company will then be run by his retarded daughter and son-in-law. Points 7, 8, 9, and 10, as far as I'm concerned. Expresses absolute disgust at next year's WrestleMania main event, including The Rock and John Cena. John Cena, I guess, being everything that's wrong with wrestling right now, and The Rock being some guy that's going to come in for a cup of coffee 2 WrestleManias in a row, which is awesome. Goes on to tell off the fans, which, okay, that's not anything spectacular, that's a typical heel thing to do. Goes on to say, maybe I should take the WWE title to New Japan or Ring of Honor. And I'm sitting there biting my tongue, knowing he's not going to say it, but wanting him so bad to say, maybe I'll take the WWE title to TNA. That would have made me mark like a motherfucker. They finally cut him off, and the show cuts off flat. Now, all the naysayers and all the negative guys are going to say, why are you getting so excited about this? It's all part of the show. It's all part of the this and that. You know what? 99% of me knows that this is a work. It's part of the storyline. It's meant to develop something. The 1% of me that wants to believe this is real so badly is definitely there. It's that same part of me that wants to still believe wrestling is real, that wants to go out there and be a mark and pretend, you know, we don't know some of the things that we already know. This was fucking brilliant. He even shit-talked John Leonidas. For those of you that don't know, that's the, I think, brother? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But the brother of ex-tag team champion Road Warrior Animal, who's their talent coordinator guy. Something like that. And all this shit that all the casual wrestling fans or the young kid wrestling fans that this all aims at now wouldn't even know about. So that was one of the coolest parts about this, was it was aimed at people that know what the fuck they're talking about, which doesn't happen a lot in the WWE. My phone is ringing. Fuck off. Yeah. Apparently they let him go out there and have a shoot. Apparently he went way too far, because supposedly there was a big meeting in the back afterwards and he was escorted out by police, and he's not going to be on TV anymore, and he's only going to fulfill his non-televised commitments between now and the 17th, which, you know, believe that as much as you want. I hope he stays. I hope this all turns into him staying in some big long feud. Also, he came out to do the shoot in a Stone Cold shirt. I mean, like, the merchandise guys for WWE would have had his head if it was anything other than intentional. And the big buzz, I mean, I go all over YouTube, I go all over, you know, chat and talking to people on Facebook and listening to Right After Wrestling Radio and all that. Everybody wants to see Punk and Austin. Now, I'm not going to get too excited about it, because how likely is it? I mean, as far as I know, Austin's got a bad back, a bad neck, and 2 bad knees. But he still draws a crowd, so I would love to see that. But this, I can't say enough. Like, you look at the names that he took down in this promo. He took down Cena, he took down Hogan, he took down Dwayne, which made me laugh. He gave a big shout out to Hayman, he gave a shout out to Brock, who are, you know, big deserters of the company. He gave a shout out to other companies. That's one of the things that I love. And he got cut off right before he started making fun of their anti-bullying campaign, which I also thought was kind of funny, because I wanted to hear what he would have said next. But I don't know. Anyways, I'm not going to ramble about this anymore. Those of you that saw it, and those of you that didn't, the link will be right there when I get this all loaded up. But that was Raw. It's a shorter review when the show's only 2 hours, isn't it? Scores, fails, and MVPs. Is it any doubt that my biggest score of tonight was CM Punk? Oh yes. Also, Vicky Guerrero being banned from the ringside area in the Dolph Kofi match made Dolph Ziggler look strong even in defeat. That's my thought on that. R-Truth wins against Cena. I'm always going to cheer for that. The Bourne Cara match. Just for the generic, we don't have very much high-flying stuff in WWE anymore element. That was a great thing to see. The fail. I'm loving CM Punk on this show. The one thing I didn't like was him being straight edge and Shawn Michaels having the past that he's had. I don't think they needed to go into, you know, CM Punk mocking him about his about his demons from his past and all that sort of thing. I didn't think it was necessary. The promo work between those two was already good enough without it. That's my thought on that. As always, the Sin Cara, I don't know what you want. The blue and yellow lighting when he has matches makes it a pain in the ass to watch, especially when so much of this match with Evan Bourne happened on the outside and nobody could see it. And if I'm not mistaken, there was even a "we can't see" chant happening during this match. So, you know, take that into consideration. There were no qualifying matches this year for the Money in the Bank matches. They just kind of spat it out. It's like, these are the guys that are going to be in the match. So it's a lot harder to get excited, isn't it? Especially when they toss in Rey Mysterio and Jack Swagger. I mean, we could do without. But, I mean, every year, even like when it was WrestleMania for sure, but even last year's Money in the Bank pay-per-view, the inaugural Money in the Bank pay-per-view, they had qualifying matches on both shows. So that's that. Booker T is a bad game show host, and the MVP, is there any doubt, is CM Punk. So yeah, that was that. This was CM Punk's night as far as I'm concerned. CM Punk overshadowed Shawn Michaels by leaps and bounds, and I'm a huge Shawn Michaels fan, so take that to mean what you will. I am Spaz. I am done. Subscribe up there. Talk down there. Let me know what you think. Start a conversation, and I will talk to you guys later.